All right, guys, it's time for one of these games again. We're back to NBA Jam, and as you already know, this is one of my favorite things to do. Let me go ahead and turn the music on there for you. There you go. And this is going to be fun. So let's go ahead and jump back into it. It's waiting for me to put in the credits, and now it's gone past that screen. Okay, now we can start. And yeah, let's see how this goes. You remember that feeling of having all the quarters in your pocket and you take them all out, you put them in one at a time. You hope that it actually reads the quarters you put in. I've had that happen before where it doesn't read it. Ah, the good old days. Back when I was a kid and I played this game, I was never able to play as well as I've been playing so far. So this is kind of like, I don't know, uncharted territory, I guess you would say for me. Who was on the Nets in what is this, 93, 92, 93? I don't know any of these players. I don't even know why I push buttons when it comes to this. I've never won the tip. I don't even know if it's possible to win the opening tip. If it is, let me know. My assumption is that it's not. I will say this, though, as we've been going along, these teams have been getting a lot harder to play against. Oh, relatively harder, at least. Anyway, good times here. I'm going to see, if not today, then tomorrow, but definitely I'm going to try today to see if I can get my new series started. We're going to do a replay with a sort of card and dice-based game, which I know is probably not as engaging as something like this. But I want to do it anyway, so we're going to do it. I've been sort of teasing this for probably 2 weeks now without actually starting it. I have it. I have the game. I have it all ready to go. The thing is, I want to do a little bit of research beforehand, and so I need to get just a little bit more done. The thing, though, that's really been preventing me from doing it has been doing all the scripted videos. So if you haven't seen it, I did a video that came out today about the old Hoops basketball cards that came out in 1989. In all seriousness, I know that those cards aren't worth a whole ton of money, and so the collectors don't really pay that much attention to them, but you really should. They're really, really good quality cards, and it was good cards for a time that really needed a card set like that. You have to realize that, you know, Topps basketball cards for years and years and years were really, really problematic. I do think the AVGN should play this game. This would be right down James's alley, except, of course, those guys don't really care so much about this. Anyway, yeah, you should check out the video about those basketball cards, because that was really bad, wasn't it? Because there's a lot of cool stuff going on there, you know. Some people do know about, like, the old, the really old Topps cards. I know that my dad had some of those from, I think, the late 70s. I don't think that they're worth very much. But you know, as cool as those old cards are, Scotty, man, what is wrong with you, Pippen? You gotta be making those, baby. The weakest on fire I've ever seen. They should allow me to steal on fire if he's rejected. Boy, that was really, really ugly. That was like a scene from like the PlayStation version. Anyway, the thing is that before Hoops came along, basketball cards were just like nothing. And those really old top sets, you know, they're okay. They're really not that good, though. That's the problem. Jeez, I'm really not playing well, am I? Alright, we're in trouble now. I know we gotta go score some points. I don't know if you watched the replay of this, you got to start wondering what happened, man. We were in a position where we could have easily gotten rid of this guy being on fire, you know, ahead of time. But Scottie Pippen ended up missing the wide open dunk. And what does he do there? What are you doing, Scotty? This is one of the problems with this game is you can't see where your teammate is when you pass it across court like that. So like sometimes he'll do something really dumb. Anyway, it's all good. But yeah, going back to Hoops basketball cards and stuff like that, that really was for basketball cards like the real sort of revolution. I mean, it was to basketball cards what Upper Deck was to baseball cards really that same year, which is that, you know, you really needed to have a basketball card set that could at least show the other companies like what was actually possible. Because, I mean, for years, like, Topps had basically, it had treated its basketball cards as like its experiment, you know, and so you had all these like cards with like these really bizarre designs and stuff. And, you know, I don't think that Topps really was taking the industry all that seriously back in the old days. I mean, nobody was taking cards seriously if you go back far enough, but you get this feeling with Topps in like the 70s and 80s that it was just sort of like, you know, anything goes. Anyway. Let him take it. Now, Hoops partnered, I believe, with the NBA like directly, and I think that the purpose was to try its hardest to make, you know, a card set that could compete and could get the attention at least of all the collectors. So if you watch that video, there's this article I quote from the LA Times that talks about how there were like, you know, the collecting world was increasing by like, it was like you were getting like, I don't know, 100,000 new collectors a year or something like that, which is crazy. That's definitely junk wax era. And the whole idea here was that, you know, Hoops wanted, or the NBA wanted to really tap into that market. But the problem is that should have been a 3, right? He was behind the arc. Anyway, the problem that the NBA had is that the NBA's prevailing card sets were all kind of like not really capable of competing, right? Now Fleer's set in '86 was all right, but when you start going to the Fleer sets right afterwards, it's like Fleer basically stopped trying to like make, you know, a card that was really attractive. You know, the sets are not awful, I guess, but nobody looks at like 87 or 88 Fleer basketball and says like, oh yeah, this is a great set, you know, this is a set that, you know, is an absolute classic. And they've been hitting threes like crazy, man. Oh. Alright, another one of these nail biters. It's that rubber band that gets you every time. Anyway, Hoops is nice because, you know, it's a card that looks like it actually wants to be a basketball card and not like, you know, just like a piece of crappy cardboard that, you know, they sort of like stuck together. Let's see what happens, you know. That was the real difference, I think, with Hoops. Dude, is he pushing me or am I pushing him? What was all that sound in the background about? That's kind of weird. Alright, well, we know what play not to call next time. We'll just call this one instead. There you go. Yeah, that's the computer shoving me like over and over again. The other news on this channel is we're gonna keep trying with the Dream Team game. That game's pretty bad. I gotta be honest with you. I know there are a lot of people who like the EA Sports games, but that game in particular is not good. That game is not as good as Celtics versus Lakers. I can tell you that. Having played both, Celtics versus Lakers was a lot more fun and a lot more interesting. That game that I played yesterday it's frustrating. And the worst part about this is you're like, wait a second, you know, we're like the best players in the world. Why are we incapable of like hitting a 2-point shot, right? What am I supposed to do to make this work? So I know that there's got to be some way to, you know, play the game successfully. But it's funny because if you look around for reviews of the game, what you'll notice is that, oh shoot, that was the wrong button. I meant to pass it. Okay, we're gonna pay for that, I think. At least we got the big rim breaker. Oh no. Oh no, it's a loss. Oh man. Yeah, that was pretty bad. I thought that we had him there in the last couple seconds, but that ended up not working. So, so much for that. Scotty with 10 points, 1 for 1 from 3, because I told him to shoot the 1-3. But they went totally nuts. Anderson here was 5 for 8 from 3-point range, so that was pretty crazy. Anyway, so we end up losing. This is only the 4th time that we've lost so far. We'll play against New Jersey again next time, not tomorrow, but the day after. So, so much for that. But it was a lot of fun, and this is just part of the process, right? I mean, if I were going to sit down and win every single game, this would be really boring. So instead of winning every single game, let's have some fun and, you know, let's see what happens. Really, if it wasn't for the computer, the big guy being on fire for, you know, a good percentage of the game, I think that we would have done all right. So anyway, I still think positive about this. Hope you enjoyed that. I'll talk with you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.